Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Vineland High School here at the pool. Happy New Year to everybody. It's good to be back after the winter break for Vineland High School varsity sports here on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. Kyle Bennett and Lena Luciano here with you for another swim meet as the Fighting Clan of Vineland gets set to host the Atlantic City Vikings, a nice old-school classic Cape Atlantic League rivalry here in Vineland tonight. Should be a good one, Lena. We both swam against Atlantic City a bunch in our swimming careers, and it's always fun to have some of those classic rivalries go down at your home pool.
Yep. Happy to be back.
So things will get started with the girls' 200 medley relay. In lane 3 for the girls, it'll be Olivia Masucci, Isabella Saltar, Ava Smith, and Leah Mako. In lane 5, it'll be Ariana Frankakis, Gabby Brown, Ileana Figueroa, and Angelina Saltar. And in lane 1, it'll be Giovanna Arquetto, Devin Shaw, Avery Jordan, and Olivia Smith.
I'm already getting goosebumps.
Medley relay, you want to set that tone early, kind of have that precedent of where the meet's going to go and get that early lead. So we'll see how the girls kick things off here tonight.
Definitely sets a vibe for the rest of the meet. So we'll see if this is close, and then maybe the whole meet will be kind of close.
It definitely gets like that competitive nature going, especially if it is, close with 2 A relays going at it, and then you kind of see where the tone of the meet carries itself from there. It sets the pace of where things will go across the board, in this first half of the meet, and then obviously in the longer second back half of the meet, and when everything ends up with the 400 freestyle relay. But set the tone here as the girls enter the pool. Lane 3, it's Olivia Masucci. Lane 5, it's Ariana Frankakis. And in lane 1, it's Giovanna Arquetto. We are underway here for the Fighting Clan hosting Atlantic City. First meet of 2024. So far off to a solid start here for the Fighting Clan.
Masucci has a pretty good lead.
Ariana Frankakis going toe-to-toe with the swimmer in lane 4 for Atlantic City. Gets a nice finish there at a 35.53 does Frankakis, and we're off to breaststroke. As in lane 3, it'll be Isabella Saltar. In lane 5, it's Gabby Brown. And in lane 1, it's Devin Shaw.
Vineland lane 1 and Atlantic City lane 2. Very close right now. See who wins this one.
Going toe-to-toe there right now, at least for best times, as you can't sweep a relay. So Vineland trying to get that 1-2 finish and get off to an early lead here as lane 5 and lane 4 pretty much right there with one another. It's going to come down to who hits those turns, who utilizes their underwater kick more effectively.
Lane 5's underwater kick was very impressive coming off that turn.
That is Ileana Figueroa, and Ava Smith was your butterfly leg in lane 3. And it's Leah Mako in lane 3 now for freestyle, and in lane 5 it's Angelina Saltar trying to hold off the A relay for Atlantic City. Nice finish.
Yep.
And Vineland goes 1-2, a great finish there in lane 5 by Angelina Saltar. So lane 3 for Vineland goes 2:10.57. Lane 5, a 2:14.65. And Atlantic City's A relay in lane 4 finishes at a 2:16.31 to take third place. And a good finish there for Vineland in lane 1. So that was Olivia Smith as the anchor, and Vineland gets a nice finish in lane 1 at a 2:45.03. Atlantic City in lane 2 goes at 2:47.26. And Atlantic City is finishing strong in lane 6.
Coming up after the girls' 200 medley relay is the boys' 200 medley relay, and we have Nick Monero, Evan Profera, Cashin Hampton, and Dominic Martin in lane 3, Gio Gonzalez, Michael Pantaleon, Dante Giulani, and Robbie Bono in lane 5, and Johnny Luciano, Robbie Chapdelaine, Colin Chong, and Nathan Chong in lane 1.
See if the boys can set the tone for their portion of this dual meet as the girls get a nice 1-2 finish. We'll see if the boys can hold up that pace and get the vibes going for their side of this meet here against Atlantic City. The boys are underway.
I've noticed that Nick Monero always has a really good underwater start for backstroke.
His underwater kicks in the 2 years I've been calling meets here for the Fighting Clan have been super impressive to me, and he's always getting to at least or very close to that 10-meter mark every single time.
Yep.
He's off a start, off a turn. He really prioritizes that underwater kick, and it makes him such an effective backstroker and such an effective leadoff for the medley relay as he goes a 30.95.
Woo. In lane 3 for breaststroke, we have Evan Profera.
He's a freshman. He's been off to a great start of his swimming career. A great underwater by Atlantic City's breaststroker there to kind of pull ahead, but Evan keeping it close.
Entering for lane 3, we have Cashin Hampton.
He's going to need to hit his turn and hit those underwaters as Atlantic City has about a full body length lead now following that breaststroke leg and getting a lead.
I believe Cashin's goggles fell off. Isn't fun, but
we've all been there.
Yeah. But he's still doing very well.
Yep, battling through it. And even with no goggles goes a 30.23 split for his 50 butterfly.
Finishing up in lane 3, we have Dominic Martin. In lane 5, we have Robbie Bono.
Atlantic City probably has enough here to finish first place in this 200 medley relay, as they will, at a 2:04.11. Vineland comes in second in lane 3 at a 2:07.73. And Atlantic City gonna take third place here and take a 1-3 finish in the 200 medley relay at a 2:20.16. Vineland in lane 5 goes a 2:22.06.
Nathan Chong about to finish 5th with a 2:39.19.
A good split, about 31 there for Nathan Chong in lane 1. Atlantic City finishing strong in lane 6. Once this wraps up, that'll bring us to the 200 freestyle. For the girls, in lane 3, it'll be Olivia Elliott. In lane 5, it'll be Haley Jones. And in lane 1, it'll be Holly Karpaloric. So Atlantic City gets the 1-3 finish in the 200 medley relay for the boys. Vineland gets a second place finish. We are on to the 200 freestyle. It's a controlled sprint. You want to be able to keep the speed going, but also not burn out too quickly. It's important to hit all your turns, be effective off the walls in this race.
Important to breathe.
Yes. This is certainly a race along with the 400. You want to have kind of a breathing pattern before you even dive into the pool and kind of know how you're going to pace yourself and know when it's time to keep your head down and, you know, kind of hold your breath, but then also get back to that breathing pattern on a consistent basis throughout the race.
Lane 3 and lane 4, very close, starting off.
It's Olivia Elliott in lane 3 for Vineland. Haley Jones in lane 5 and Holly Karpelorg in lane 1. Atlantic City has about a full body length lead here.
When I swam, Atlantic City has always had a nice roster of distance swimmers.
Yes. Their boys teams, when I was swimming, they certainly had the good like mid-distance, solid distance, and then it was always like an all-out battle in the 50 freestyle. It was one of those things that it was like lanes 1 through 6. You were just paying attention to see whose hand touched first. You didn't know who it was going to be. Could have been anybody.
Everyone is probably like off the edge of their seats trying to see.
Just waiting to see who finished where, seeing what the scoreboard said in terms of the touchpad. Intrigued to see how Atlantic City looks across the board in all of their events as this meet unfolds. Vineland looking close to a 2-3-4 finish as Atlantic City claims first place there to 2:20.14. And a strong finish there in lane 3 for Olivia Elliott at a 2:31.99. Haley Jones comes in third at a 2:43.43. And Holly Karpelorg coming in fourth place at a 2:49.83, which I believe, according to our sheet here, is a new best time for Holly.
Woo. Good job, Holly. Next up, we have the boys 200 free. We have Dom Mercado in lane 3, Evan Profera in lane 5, and Robbie Bono in lane 1.
Evan's been working his way into a bunch of events as a freshman, and he's been very impressive for this Fighting Clan team so far this season. Excited to see him continue progressing. He was obviously in that medley relay as the breaststroke leg, and now getting a shot here in the 200 freestyle.
It's really cool to see swimmers grow over the past however many years they swim for high school. Hopefully 4, but
Robbie Bono getting accustomed to the distance portion of swim meets now too. Kind of figured out he's got that distance pace. Kind of was able to lengthen himself out a little bit and be more accustomed to a 200 freestyle, a 400 freestyle. And
type of pace.
be able to pace himself more properly than if he was to be in a sprinting event. So excited to see him kind of progress in this new role that Coach Sarah Bennett has for him in the distance events, and it kind of lengthens out your roster a little bit too and allows you to have a little bit more flexibility in certain events and allows you to move some swimmers around into different events if you need them to.
I'd say it's good to try out at least every event once, because you never will know what you're good or not good at unless you don't try it.
Atlantic City with an early lead here in the first 100 of this 200 freestyle. The Vineland's boys in lane 3 and lane 5 not far behind. They're kind of neck and neck with one another. And Robbie Bono firmly entrenched in a 4th place position right now.
I will always say turning in distance events is difficult. It's very difficult. Some swimmers are very lucky to be able to do a really nice turn without exerting too much energy. I was not one of those people. It took a lot of energy to turn. But you know, that's the sport.
You know, sometimes in an event like this too, where your opponent has a strong, you know, grasp on first place, as Atlantic City does there with a first place finish. Vineland's going to get a 2-3-4 finish here. And that ends up winning you the event, you know, across the board points-wise. So sometimes it's okay to not necessarily come in first, as Vineland gets a 2:18.88 finish in lane 3 and a 2:24.82 finish in lane 5 and a 2:29.66 there in lane 1 from Robbie Bono. So a 2:34 finish for the Vineland boys, which some quick math in my head there. That's a 9-7 win for the boys from Vineland in this event.
Nice.
So sometimes it's okay, you know, if you don't finish in first place. Obviously, you want to get those first place points as often as you can.
Right.
But when you have the depth across the board like you do in this event for Vineland, where it's okay that you don't finish first, but you're able to get a grasp on 2-3-4 and end up winning the event, you'll take that every day of the week.
Definitely a team effort in comparison to just winning first. That's why depth is super important.
Some strong finishes here for Atlantic City. Lane 6 at a 3:26.72. And lane 2 finishes up strong at a 3:38.23. Getting set for the girls 200 IM. In lane 3, it'll be Lena Smith. In lane 5, it'll be Isabella Saltar. And in lane 1, it'll be Elena Bono.
The breaststrokers event. I believe all of these swimmers are breaststrokers, so.
To an extent, yes.
Yeah.
Girls are off, and that is you kind of know where things are going to stack up in the 200 IM, both girls and boys, once you get to that breaststroke leg. You kind of see who is a breaststroker and is able to keep the pace of the event that they have going. And then sometimes, if you're like me and you had no clue how to effectively maneuver breaststroke in a speed manner, you kind of lose a little bit, and then you got to gain it back in that freestyle leg. Good start here for the Fighting Clan. A 1-2 touch here after Butterfly. And Elena Bono not too far behind. As we head to the backstroke leg.
So I know the 200 freestyle would be considered a for high school, it's a mid-distance event. So would the 200 IM also be considered a mid-distance event, or is it a sprint?
I think it's very similar to the 200 free in an aspect where it's like a controlled sprint almost, where you don't want to burn out too early in that front half of butterfly and backstroke, because then you're really going to feel it in breaststroke. I've been there from experience. But you also want to be able to have, effective speed splits across the board as often as you can get them. I know when I first started training for the 200 IM, I was training distance practices when we would divvy up sprint and distance, and you definitely need to have an endurance factor and a good breathing technique, because you are swimming all 4 strokes in the 200 IM. You need to have kind of a sense of your breathing pattern for every stroke in just such a concise period, because it's going to change every 50 once you get to the next stroke, and having that breathing pattern is definitely vital if you're going to be a 200 IMer.
I'd agree. And for that last 52, very important to keep just enough energy so you can push it.
And that last 50 is so important to have a strong kick in that 50 freestyle, because you can pull all day long, but the 200 IM, mostly, from experience, your legs get crushed.
Yep.
So you want to be able to have that kick endurance built up as well for that final 50 freestyle, because the 50 free leg of the 200 IM can make or break your race. It can win you an event, it can lose you an event, as Vineland finishes strong. A first place finish there in lane 3 of a 241.97 for Lena Smith.
Second place for Isabella Saltar at a 250.62.
Atlantic City coming in strong in lane 4. They will take third place at a 304.84, and Elena Bono with a great finish there in lane 1 at a 308.21.
Next event, we have the 200 IM for the boys. In lane 3 for Vineland, we have Michael Giordino. In lane 5, Michael Pantaleone. And in lane 1, Tyler Chong.
It's back-to-back meets now that we've called. That Giordino will be doing the 200 IM as opposed to the 200 freestyle. And like we mentioned, when you have Robbie Bono now doing the 200 freestyle for you, it lengthens your meet up a little bit and allows you to put somebody with Giordino's skill sets and his effectiveness in all 4 strokes here, put him in the 200 IM and allow you to try to snag some points in another event when you know you're capable of scoring points in an event like the 200 freestyle. This will be a big one early for the boys. Obviously, you get that second place finish in the medley relay. You kind of bounce back, win the 200 freestyle. You want to kind of keep the momentum going in your direction and come away with another event win here in the 200 IM, as Giordino and Pantaleone off to a strong start in the butterfly leg here for Vineland. A 30.97 for Giordino, and Pantaleone with a 31.74 split in the butterfly.
Nice, still very, very strong leads from Giordino and Pantaleone.
Those are good splits there for the 200 IM, being in that 30-31 range for the butterfly leg. You know,
Great start.
It's good speed. It's a controlled sprint there for a 50 fly. You're not crushing yourself and going, a 27, and then you're out of breath by breaststroke. It's a good start there for both boys there. Giardino cruises into the wall there and heads to breaststroke. Pantaleone not too far behind. Atlantic City makes up some ground there, both in lane 4 and lane 2.
So lane 6 as well seems to be pushing it.
Michael Pantaleone can't take his foot off the gas pedal just yet. He's got to finish strong here with his breaststroke leg and then empty the tank there in the 50 freestyle anchor leg. Giardino comes in strong. He's onto the freestyle leg here. He's at a 153.50 so far.
Very astounding kick too. It's a great kick.
Pantaleone in at a 206.05 heading into freestyle. Lane 2 for Atlantic City touches first, followed by lane 6 and then lane 4. Giardino comes in cruising with a first place finish of 226.85.
Lane 5 for Vineland, about to come second place.
Good finish there for Michael Pantaleone in lane 5.
2:43.97.
And then Atlantic City is going to finish 3-4-5 with lane 2 finishing third, lane 4 finishing fourth, and lane 6 finishing in fifth. So Vineland gets the 1-2 finish there. That's 10 points. They'll win the event.
Beautiful work.
And a strong finish in lane 6 for Vineland. Tyler Chong with a 3:08.91. That will bring up the fastest race of the dual meet, 50 freestyle for the girls. In lane 3, it'll be Leah Mako. In lane 5, it'll be Emma Negron. And in lane 1, it'll be Layla Janetti. Underway for the 50 freestyle. Nice underwater kick there by Emma Negron in lane 5.
Atlantic City lane 4, first place, so as it is right now.
No quit from the Fighting Clan though, as it'll be a first place finish for Atlantic City at 28.09. Leah Mako at a 29.50. Emma Negron in third place with a 31.19. And Layla Janetti in lane 1 with a fourth place finish of 33.38. Atlantic City in lane 2 with a 36.05 gets the fifth place finish, and then a strong finish in lane 6 with a 50.52. And that is the girls 50 freestyle, so another strong performance there by the Fighting Clan, a 2-3-4 finish. Bring up the boys 50 freestyle.
For the boys 50 free, we have Cashin Hampton in lane 3, Michael DeVito in lane 5, and Dominic Martin in lane 1.
opportunity here for the boys. Gain some points, create a little distance in the scoring. And kind of set the tone for what the second half of this meet will look like.
Let's see.
Some good starts there for the Vineland boys. Cash and Hampton. Good turns there for Vineland.
Very close between 1, 2, and 4.
Vineland's going to take first place at 27.75, takes second place at 28.60, and third place at 29.66.
Beautiful.
Just out touching lane 2 for fourth place by .11.
That's always exciting.
That was Dominic Martin in lane 1. A great finish there to out-touch lane 2 for Atlantic City. And that's how you set the tone for the next portion of the meet. You can take a 1-2-3 finish into the break. The fastest event gets the adrenaline flowing. And that is a great job by the Vineland boys.
That was exciting.
Officials meeting behind the blocks. Not too sure what the discussion is for. I don't know if it's a scoring issue or finishing decision.
Checking the times, just in case.
Boys are going to exit the pool. We're going to take a quick break here for the intermission. We'll be back for the second half of this dual meet between the Fighting Clan and the Vikings of Atlantic City. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Varsity Swimming right here on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody, to the pool here at Vineland High School. Kyle Bennett
And Lena Luciano.
here on the call with you as we get set for the girls 100 butterfly. And the girls are in the pool for Vineland. In lane 3, it's Ileana Figueroa. In lane 5, it's Eliana 2. And in lane 1, it's Avery Jordan. Girls have had a very solid start to this meet. Looking to add on here and continue to progress towards a hard-earned win here in the first meet of 2024. Hope everybody had a safe and happy New Year. And if you're new to our broadcast here, make sure you're subscribed to the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. It's youtube.com, the little @ symbol, VLD Schools TV. It's where you get every broadcast of sporting events, school events, district events, and everything in between throughout the 2023-2024 school year and beyond. It's youtube.com/@VLD Schools TV. Ileana Figueroa.
Nice underwater kicks the whole time from Ileana.
Finishing strong here in this 100 butterfly. At a 1:15.83.
Atlantic City taking second, the 122.44, and Eliana taking third with a 125.86.
Avery Jordan in lane 1 finishes with a 129.41 in 4th place. That is a new personal best for her.
.134 for Vineland, not bad.
It's a good start to this back half portion of the dual meet. Atlantic City also takes 5th in lane 2 at a 134.25, and a strong finish in lane 6 at 158.88, which will now bring us to the boys 100 freestyle. Or 100 butterfly, I should say. Getting ahead of myself.
For the boys 100 butterfly, we have Nick Monero in lane 3, Caston Hampton in lane 5, and Dante Giuliani in lane 1. So Caston just came off the 50 freestyle, took that break, and is going into the 100 fly.
Very quick feeling break.
Very.
I've been in Caston's shoes before, having done the 50 freestyle, have a little break, and then into the 100 fly. It's one of those mental discipline type of things, going back to back like that. We'll see how Caston fares in lane 5. He's always a strong butterflyer for this boys team here for Vineland.
Atlantic City about a body length ahead of Vineland off his turn. Caston Hampton in lane 2 for Atlantic City, battling it out right now, very close.
Neck and neck. Caston's gonna have to hit this turn strong. Really use his underwater kick to his advantage to hold off Atlantic City's B-lane swimmer in lane 2. Atlantic City takes first place in lane 4 to 103.42. Vineland will claim second at a 107.89. Caston Hampton takes third.
Woo.
At a 113.99, followed by Atlantic City in lane 2 at a 114.27. Vineland also takes 5th at a 118 flat.
Coming off the 50, and then doing a 113 in the fly, coming third. Not easy.
Not easy. I know how much he's hurting right now.
Lungs are probably on fire.
Get some water in you. Do a little breathing on the pool deck when you get out of the water there. Because I'm sure he's in one of these relays down the stretch as well. And a good finish by Dante Giuliani in lane 1, too, to get that 5th place finish there for the Fighting Clan. Cashton is in one of those relays as well down the stretch.
He is. He is coming up very shortly in the 200 freestyle relay.
Not too much rest upcoming there for Cashton as we get set for the girls 100 freestyle. In lane 3, we have Rebecca Bermudez. In lane 1, we have Ava Cohen. And in lane 5, we have Angelina Saltar.
Atlantic City lane 4 currently holding a strong lead with Angelina Saltar in lane 5, shortly behind.
Atlantic City's A-lane swimmer with a great pace. Kind of pulling away here. Angelina Saltar at a good pace of her own as Coach Mike Schneider following her.
Like earlier in the meet, you can come first in this type of event, but what matters is, you know, the 2, 3, 4 or amount of points. So it seems like Vineland is about to come second.
Angelina Saltar with a great finish at a 108.66, which is a new personal best for her, according to our sheet here, by 6 seconds.
Wow.
Her time on the sheet here, 114.74. She goes down to a 108.66.
Very impressive.
Rebecca Bermudez right on pace with her personal best time, just a couple milliseconds behind it.
So 110.35. And lane 1 for Vineland coming forward.
Cohen right around her personal best as well, about half a second off her personal best time.
So close. 114.09.
Great swims there for the Fighting Clan as they go 2-3-4 in the 100 freestyle, and Atlantic City goes 1-5.
Next up, we have the 100 free for the boys, and that'll be Michael DeVito in lane 3, Dominic Martin in lane 5, and Gio Gonzalez in lane 1.
Gio switching it up this week, swimming the 100. The last time we called him, he was in the 400. Used his incredible height and his great arm length to his advantage in the 400. We'll see if he can do it here in the 100 with a bit of a faster pace than that distance 400 swim.
Already off with an amazing kick.
Yes.
Gio.
And he's got the wingspan there and the reach to really utilize that to his advantage.
Atlantic City lane 4 coming in first to the turn, quickly followed by lanes 5 and 3, which is Michael DeVito and Dominic Martin. Lane 1 Gio and lane 2 Atlantic City, very close. Touching the wall almost at the same time. And then the turn.
Atlantic City gonna have a strong first place finish here. Right around the 1 minute mark, we'll see what it officially clocked in, a 59.90. Vineland takes second and third at a 104.24, a 105.30. Atlantic City snags fourth place in lane 2 at a 107.60, and Vineland takes fifth in lane 1 at a 107.99, and a strong finish for AC in lane 6 at a 122.07. So Vineland goes 2-3-5 there in the 100 freestyle, and that's going to bring up your event, the 400 freestyle for the girls. In lane 3, we'll have Olivia Masucci. In lane 5, it'll be Lena Smith. And in lane 1, it'll be Haley Jones.
I believe the swimmer in lane 4 for Atlantic City is the same swimmer who did the 200 200 freestyle. So this is gonna be exciting. This is Olivia's second time swimming the 400 freestyle. She swam it against Egg Harbor last meet. Very good time, the 4:52. Let's see if she can beat that or come close to it.
As the lap counters get set. Underway for the girls 400 freestyle, and Olivia Masucci's got a quick turnaround after this one. She'll be the third leg in the 200 freestyle relay after this.
The nice thing about swimming distance and going into a sprint event is that like you exert a lot of energy over a long amount of time, but it's not like all in.
Right.
So
being able to do that sprint event, you can kind of get a little bit of rest while your teammates are in the pool during their legs, and then you get to empty the tank there.
It's like,
your time.
yeah, it's like just doing another 50 added onto the 400.
Exactly.
All out at the end.
With a little bit of a break to catch your breath, and then pretty much hold it for your leg of that relay.
Very consistent pace with lanes 3 and 4.
Lena Smith not too far behind, about one body length, give or take there in lane 5 for Vineland. She's keeping good pace. Haley Jones in lane 1 also at a good pace for her. Time, her personal best, according to her, she's a 5:31.24. It's a great 150 there for Olivia Masucci. She's kind of taking the lead back here from Atlantic City. Head coach Mike Schneider giving those signals.
Very important to pay attention to them. I remember all of the signals. Kick, yeah, there's a lot, but you know exactly what he means when he's swimming.
It is so funny that like you kind of know, even if like you've never seen it before, you know what he's trying to tell you.
They could do something with his arms, and I'm just like, oh, okay, go faster.
Okay. As he's got his 2 pointer fingers pointing to the ceiling here.
Masucci now a body length and a half ahead of Atlantic City.
Good turn there for Atlantic City to kind of keep pace there, but Olivia's got about a 5-meter lead. Kick has stayed consistent and strong throughout.
I'm not completely sure. I'll have to ask her once the meet is over, but I'm pretty sure she's using a kick method, a certain type of kick method that a lot of distance swimmers use.
Yeah.
And I've never mastered it, but I can see that she's doing that. And it's working to her advantage, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like the kicking equivalent to, like, for everybody at home that does know, like galloping.
Yeah.
It's just kind of doing it with your legs. She's not exactly doing it with her pull to the degree that she is with her kick, but it is almost like the kicking equivalent to a gallop for a distance swimmer.
There goes the 2-pointer fingers. That means she has a pretty good time so far.
She's distanced herself quite a bit now from Atlantic City swimmer in lane 4.
About to be our last 50.
Kind of doubled her lead there. Good turn. She's going to be just fine in that 200 freestyle relay leg. I'm pretty sure she's got some speed left in the tank there. Great finish.
Dropped
4:48.91.
Dropped 4 seconds off of her last meet time of a 4:52.
Atlantic City grabs second place in lane 4 to 4:55.15.
Lena Smith finishing third with a 5:10.28.
Haley Jones finishing strong for Vineland in lane 1. She's going to take fourth at a 5:47.47.
2-3-4 for Vineland. Or 1-3-4 for Vineland, my bad.
Strong points there for the Fighting Clan girls.
Coming up next, we have the 400 boys freestyle with Michael Giardino in lane 3, Dom Mercado in lane 5, and Robbie Bono in lane 1. Last time we had Giardino counting because he wanted to be involved in the 400 some way. Now he's swimming it, so.
It's his event. He's the record holder here for Vineland. And the boys are underway.
Very fast start to the race so far.
Giardino just a little bit behind Atlantic City swimmer in lane 4, about 0.6 of a second behind. If the scoreboard is accurate right now, the Vineland boys have a 10-point lead, 52-42. So a strong finish here in this 400 freestyle will do a lot of good for the Fighting Clan.
Lanes 5 and lane 1 for Vineland are doing pretty well.
I think right now for Giardino, he's kind of just trying to keep his pace, be on a good time pace for him. It's kind of a body length and some change behind Atlantic City swimmer in lane 4. You don't want to overexert yourself to try to catch up at this point in the race and then end up losing it in the end.
Yeah. When you're doing the 400 or the 500 and someone is pretty far ahead, you just want to try and go for your personal best that you can in that moment. Because you may catch up, but you're probably not going to keep that pace for much longer.
You know, if Giardino has enough in the tank, we know he's got that strong kick that down the stretch, that final 100, that final 50. He can kind of turn the burners on a little bit more, exert a little bit more energy, and try to catch the swimmer in lane 4. Right now, he's about 3.5 seconds behind. But he's at a good, consistent pace. Hasn't really fallen off his own personal pace at all. You know, we saw it earlier. Atlantic City took a first place finish. Vineland went 2-3-4, ended up winning the event.
Still wins the event, yep.
At the end of the day, that team effort will matter as Giardino picking up his pace.
Yeah, seems to be closing the gap.
About 2.5 seconds behind now.
You could just tell has a lot to do with the kick. Very powerful kick.
And he's got that length on his pull that looks so effortless.
Kind of like he's on ice.
Exactly. He's kind of just like skimming across the water, not a heavy pull. It's very consistent. And right now is where you could see Giardino really turn it on. A negative split there from his last 50 to this one. He's about 2 seconds behind. If he hits this turn here on this final lap, this could be a photo finish.
You could tell he wants it too.
He wants it so bad. He knows this is his event. It's his home pool.
Right.
And here he goes. Does he have enough time?
Ooh. Yeah, but he closed that gap.
Closed that gap strong. Another negative split of 31.25 for the final 50. And goes a 4:17.94. Comes close to beating the record that he has already broken, previously held by Dominic Marighi. But AC takes first place of 4:16.83. Strong swim for both guys in the pool there. I think if that's the 500, Giardino closes that gap and is able to finish in first.
Yeah, I agree.
Just kind of ran out of real estate in terms of
space.
Laps remaining.
Vineland about to finish 5th or 3rd in lane 5. That would be Del Mercado with a 5:04.89.
Vineland going to go 2-3. And if I'm not mistaken, Robbie Bono is in position for 4th place here.
So that's overall surplus in points for Vineland. Finishes with a 5:31.16.
Vineland will end up winning the 400 freestyle 9-7, so they gain 2 more points overall in their lead. And as we wait for Atlantic City to finish up strong here in this 400 freestyle. We have the girls 200 freestyle relay upcoming. In lane 3, it'll be Ava Smith, Olivia Elliott, Olivia Masucci, and Leah Mako. In lane 5, we have Frankie Sherma, Layla Janetti, Elena Bono, and Haley Jones. And in lane 1, it'll be Janice Morales, Giovanna Arquetto, Olivia Smith, and Juliana Torres. So we'll see how much gas is left in the tank for Olivia Masucci following that strong 400 freestyle. And she can flip the switch from a nice distance event to putting the burners on and pushing that gas pedal for a 50 freestyle.
The thing about relays is that definitely multiply the amount of adrenaline because you're in a group.
Yes.
Because you have people behind the blocks like slamming on it if it's close. So
we were always super intense with our relays across the board. You know, we had the old blocks before they were replaced with these awesome new ones they have here at the pool. We were banging on those things, cutting our hands up on them, making sure that our relay mates knew, hey, you gotta turn it up. We were yelling into their faces and telling them to finish strong. The 200 freestyle relay is kind of that midway point of the back half of the meet where it's like, okay, let's really assert our dominance here and show what we're made of and kind of pull away if we know we have a chance to win this meet.
Right. The funny thing is that you can't even see when someone is banging on the block. You could hear it. You could hear it, like the echo, and it's like, whew, better pick it up.
And what can't head coach Mike Schneider do is he tightens the lane lines there. He does it all.
Everything.
He's coaching. He's a pacer for the distance events.
Handyman. For the lane lines.
If you're watching at home, give Coach Mike Schneider a round of applause. It's Ava Smith, Frankie Sherma, and Janice Morales in the pool for the Fighting Clan in lanes 3, 5, and 1, respectively. And it'll be Olivia Elliott, Layla Janetti, and Giovanna Arquetto diving in now for Vineland. Neck and neck.
Lane 3 for Vineland seems to be pulling away now.
Great job by Olivia Elliott to kind of
Elliott.
seize the opportunity there. Knew you were super close. Ramped up her kick a little bit. The pull is consistent. She's got about a half a body length lead for Olivia Masucci.
Coming off the 400 freestyle. Let's see.
The kick is still strong. The pull is there. One breath down.
Ooh. Okay.
No breath out of the turn.
Still kicking like no one's business.
A good pace, a 1-2 breath pattern there. Fresh off the 400. That is Leah Mako in lane 3. Haley Jones in lane 5. Juliana Torres in lane 1. Great job by the Fighting Clan there. A 159.58 for the A relay. Atlantic City with a 2:03.50 and a second place finish in lane 4.
Vineland about to finish third with 2:19.25.
So a 1-3 there for the Fighting Clan.
It's victory in the event.
Vineland will take a 4th place finish at 2:31.28 in lane 1. AC takes 5th in lane 2 at a 2:39.39. AC finishing up strong in lane 6.
Starting shortly after this is the 200 boys free relay, which is for Vineland, lane 3, Nick Monero, Cashin Hampton, Michael DeVito, and Michael Giordino. Lane 5, Michael Pantaleone, Dante Giuliani, Tyler Chong, and Don Mercado. And in lane 1, Robbie Chapdelaine, Colin Chong, Nathan Chong, and Josiah Gomez. Another swimmer coming off the 400 freestyle. Michael Giordino is anchoring that.
This will be another big one for the boys. Try to put some more points on the board, kind of distance themselves a bit here against the Vikings and create a little bit of breathing room going into that final third of this dual meet with 100 breaststroke, the 100 backstroke,
And the 400.
and that 4 free relay as well.
Don Mercado is also coming off the 400 free, so yeah, 2 swimmers jumping from that.
Built different.
I think they're both anchoring. Yeah, Yeah, they're both anchoring as well, so let's see. Entering for lane 3 is Nick Monero, Michael Pantaleone for lane 5, and Robbie Chapdelaine in lane 1. Chapdelaine in lane 1.
Strong start for Atlantic City off the start.
Lane 5, Michael Pantaleone had good underwaters that turn.
AC with the early first place touch, followed by lane 5.
Which would be Dante Giuliani and Cashin Hampton in lane 3.
This is going to be a fun one down the stretch. Lanes 3, 4, and
Yep.
5.
Cashin
Keeping it close.
closing the gap and maybe even
It's a strong swim from Cashin Hampton and a great start by the swimmer next up for Vineland in lane 3.
which would be Michael DeVito. Lane 5, Tyler Chong.
Keeping good pace is Tyler Chong.
Lane 1, that would be Nathan Chong.
And it's going to be Giardino anchoring this 200 freestyle relay in lane 3. And a good start for him. AC in the water now. And lane 5 for Vineland now in the pool.
Don Mercado.
Don Mercado going toe-to-toe with AC in lane 2.
And toe-to-toe, lane 3, Michael, and lane 4, AC.
There's
Coming
gonna
down
be
to the finish.
photo finish here. And AC's going to squeak it out
Ooh, there you go.
just barely.
24 split for AC.
152.10 is the final time for AC. 152.34 is the time for Vineland. And Vineland pulls out the 3rd place finish in lane 5 at a 2:01.72. AC in lane 2 goes at 2:03.24.
Lane 1 for VHS boys. About to come. 6. 2:23.98.
0.04 according to the
Very close.
touchpad there.
And I think lane line between lane 6 and lane 5 has just came out.
Somebody get Mike Schneider the wrench.
And there he is.
wait for him to tighten up the lane lines. We'll give you the girls' 100 backstroke lineup. In lane 3, it's going to be Ariana Frangakis. In lane 1, in lane 5, Ava Cohen, and in lane 1, Emma Negron.
Everyone is different, but I would say swimmers with stronger kicks are usually at an advantage when it comes to backstroke. It's very heavy on the legs.
You need a strong underwater kick. And it's a very different breathing pattern, obviously being on your back and having to utilize nasal breathing a lot more.
Right.
A great underwater start there for Ariana Frangakis in lane 3. Barely swam any of that first 25 above the water. And a great turn underwater as well, outside the flags.
Lanes, all of Vineland's lanes seem to be doing very well. First 50. Yeah, like you said, the breathing pattern is very different. I would say that I had a lot of trouble controlling my breathing for the 100 back than a lot of other events.
It kind of flips everything because normally you're used to having your face in the water when you're swimming, and now you have your face exposed and kind of have to reconfigure your breathing pattern a bit.
Yeah. You're laying down in a weird position too.
Yes.
It's different.
Great swim by Ariana Frangakis, and Vineland takes a 1-2-3 finish and sweeps the 100 backstroke here against Atlantic City. So Ariana Frangakis with a first place finish. And then at 1:19.10 is Ava Cohen. And in lane 1, Emma Negron with a 1:22.69.
About to jump into the boys 100 back. We have Nick Monero in lane 3, Johnny Luciano in lane 5, and Dante Giuliani in lane 1.
This is Nick Monero's event.
From the relay, very good underwaters off the first 25 of the 50 backstroke. Let's see if you can do that again for the 100 back.
Boys are underway. Good underwater start for Nick Monero.
once again. Getting off that flip turn too.
Just making sure nobody's going to catch him on his watch. One day we'll have an aerial camera following along here, which would be amazing, but we can see it here and seeing how Nick's got his breathing pattern going. And it is so different than what you would normally have if you're swimming freestyle.
Right.
Another good turn.
Lanes 5 for Vineland, which would be Johnny Luciano, is pulling ahead.
He's got to turn on that kick.
Let's go, Johnny.
There we go, there we go, there we go.
Whew, okay.
Good finish, and the boys go 1, 2, 3 in the 100 backstroke, a 1:20.15 finish in lane 3 for the 100 back, which was Dante Giuliani.
Yep, lane 1, Dante Giuliani.
Atlantic City in lane 4 goes a 1:20.25, so a tenth of a second faster goes Giuliani. And that is huge for the Vineland boys, who coming into this had a 10-point lead.
We love to see it.
They now get 13 points. Let's see, 13-3, that's a 10-point swing for the Fighting Clan. The scoring goes 6 points for first place, 4 points for second place, 3 points for third, 2 points for fourth, 1 point for fifth, and 0 for sixth.
Gonna extend the lead quite nicely.
We are now at the girls 100 breaststroke. In lane 3, it's Isabella Saltar. In lane 5, Gabby Brown. And in lane 1, Devin Shaw.
Isabella Saltar and Gabby Brown with a hefty lead so far, 1 and 2.
Devin Shaw keeping it close in lane 1 as well.
Oh, yep. Isabella and Gabby make breaststroke look very effortless.
Yes. And you and I both know it takes a whole lot of effort.
The breaststroke, yep.
Great finish there by Isabella Saltar in lane 3 with a 1:21.71. Gabby Brown in second place in lane 5 with a 1:25.47. Atlantic City in third in lane 4 with a 1:33.41. Devin Shaw in fourth with a 1:40.91. Atlantic City in fifth in lane 2 with a 1:44.75. And AC finishing strong in lane 6 with a 1:55.62. So the Fighting Clan go 1-2-4 in the 100 breaststroke, and that'll bring up the boys 100 breaststroke.
For the boys 100 breaststroke, we have Evan Profera in lane 3. Tyler Chong in lane 5 and Robbie Chapdelaine in lane 1.
The boys are off for the 100 breaststroke. This will be another big one. Obviously, coming off that 1-2-3 finish in the 100 backstroke was massive. You want to keep that momentum going here in breaststroke. That way you have a little bit of breathing room in that 400 freestyle relay, and you're not dependent on that making or breaking your overall meet.
Lane 3 for Vineland. Evan Profera has a comfortable lead as it stands.
He's worked his way into that lane 3 role. He started off the season in lane 1, finished with a first place finish in the first meet of the season for the boys. Moved on over to lane 5 and has earned that A-lane spot as a freshman in this 100 breaststroke and has taken it as his own.
Very cool to see that building happen.
This is a close 100 breaststroke race.
Lane 5 for Vineland and lane 4 battling it out, which would be Tyler Chong.
And Profera with a strong finish in lane 3 with a 123.02. Atlantic City finishes second with a 125.74 in lane 2. Vineland takes third. In lane 5, Tyler Chong at a 128.02. AC takes fourth at 128.07 in lane 4. And then Vineland also snags fifth place in lane 1 at a 128.90 from Robbie Chapdelaine. So Vineland takes a 135 in the 100 breaststroke. Now takes us to the final event for the girls here, the 400 freestyle relay. In lane 3, it'll be Ileana Figueroa, Olivia Masucci, Isabella Saltar, and Ava Smith. In lane 5, it'll be Olivia Elliott, Lena Smith, Eliana 2, and Leah Mako. And in lane 1, Elena Bono, Peyton Russo, Ariana Garcia, and Juliana Torres. The 400 freestyle relay.
Ending this meet, I believe Vineland girls has a comfortable lead. Let's see if they can extend that even further.
Got to give credit to our starter tonight too. Consistent with every event across the board. Sometimes you're not as lucky to get consistent starts in every event. So credit to our starter tonight.
Very professional.
Vineland having a intra-squad battle here in lane 3 and 5 in this 400 freestyle relay. Ileana Figueroa and Olivia Elliott.
Goes to show the amount of depth Vineland has.
They're going pull for pull with one another here. And Olivia Elliott, I believe, has a inch of a lead here. She does. About half a second ahead of lane 3, and now it's Olivia Masucci and Lena Smith in the pool for Vineland. And in lane 1, Peyton Russo.
Lanes 3 and 5 are neck and neck.
Good swim from Elena Bono in lane 1 for that first leg of this 4 free relay.
Lanes 3 and 5 still 1 and 2.
And it's Isabella Saltar in lane 3 and Eliana 2 in lane 5 for Vineland now. And it'll be Ariana Garcia in lane 1. She's on the block right now. Your anchor's getting set in lane 3. It's going to be Ava Smith and Leah Mako in lane 5.
Ava Smith enters with, I don't know what the start is called, but step over start. Yes. I've always wanted to learn that type of start as well.
Such a timing thing, too. You want to be in sync with whoever's in the pool ahead of you before you kind of lock into a step-up start.
Takes a lot of practice.
Yes.
I was there when she was learning it. Took about like maybe 10 minutes at the end of every practice. But like, I don't know, a good solid 2 weeks, so.
The Vineland girls going to have a strong finish to this dual meet here with a 1-2 finish in the 400 freestyle relay. Lane 3 with a 4:25.77 final time. And lane 5 with a 4:30.54. Good anchor swims from Ava Smith and Leah Mako. Juliana Torres finishing strong in lane 1 for the girls. As Atlantic City will take third. No matter what, because like we've mentioned, you can't sweep the relay. But a good job by Vineland in lane 1, keeping it close, keeping that pressure on Atlantic City in lane 4.
As this begins to finish up, I'll start announcing the 400 free relay for the boys for Vineland, which will be Michael DeVito, Dominic Martin, Don Mercado, and Michael Giordino in lane 3. Evan Profero, Robbie Bono, Gio Gonzalez, and Michael Pantaleone in lane 5. And Johnny Luciano, Colin Chong, Nathan Chong, and Josiah Gomez in lane 1.
AC takes third at a 5:34.51. Vineland takes a 5:43.27 finish in lane 1. Great job by the Vineland girls in this one. Good finish for Atlantic City in lane 2, and that will wrap up the girls' portion of this dual meet. As the final event gets set, the boys 400 freestyle relay. It'll be a big one. Solidify that victory for the boys. Walk away with another big-time win here at home.
I know everyone's probably hurting right now, physically, but almost there. I know by this point in the meet, I was always, I was so tired.
I know. So here we go, the boys 400 freestyle relay.
Entering the pool for lane 3 is Michael DeVito, lane 5 Evan Profera, and lane 1 Johnny Luciano.
Good starts here for Vineland, both in lane 3 and lane 5. .31s for both boys. Lane 5 a little bit ahead by a half a second.
Lane 1 for Vineland, also keeping the momentum very, very close. It's lanes 3 and 5.
That 400 freestyle relay too, it's all about bragging rights in practice the next day. You end up being the B relay and finishing out on top. you got a little
kick out of that.
Swagger step walking into practice tomorrow. The A relay is trying to prevent you from having that step into practice.
Just entering for lane 3 for Vineland was Dominic Martin. In lane 5 was Robbie Bono. And in lane 1 was Colin Chong. The A relay extends the lead.
Good first 50 there for both boys.
Very strong kick from lanes 3, 5, and 1, even after this long meet. Entering for lane 3 for Vineland would be Dom Mercado. Lane 5, Gio Gonzalez. And up on the block for lane 1 would be Nathan Chong. Gio does look like he's gliding. Very good stroke.
He's super consistent no matter what event he's swimming. He's just got that long arm reach. His kick is always consistent and strong. Like we said the last meet we called you can't teach height. And Gio's got that height that you cannot teach. Giardino's getting set in lane 3 to anchor this 4 free relay for Vineland.
About to dive in lane 5 after Gio finishes would be Michael Pantaleone. Got Michael squared in the pool in lane 3 and 5.
I heard some fans down to my right calling Michael Pantaleone pants. I love that.
In lane 1, about to dive in, we have Josiah Gomez. 27-88 split for lane 3.
Giardino is superhuman.
And finishing strong, we have Vineland lane 3 relay coming in at a 4:17.77.
Not too far behind is Vineland in lane 5. Final get that 1-2 finish. 4:29.57.
1-2, disregarding the board.
Good swims there for the Fighting Clan. They have a strong ending to this meet.
Finishing strong for lane 1, we have Josiah Gomez coming in at a 5:24.58. Maybe a few seconds faster or so than what the board is reading.
AC coming in 4th, which is technically a 3rd place points finish for them in lane 2 at a 5:36.58.
Now Vineland High School boys and girls can breathe. It's over.
Good strong win for both teams. That's Atlantic City finishing strong in lane 4 at 5:59.63. And the Fighting Clan going to come away with a win-win. As both the boys and girls finish strong here down the stretch. A lot of key moments in this one. A 1-2-3 finish in that 100 backstroke for the boys really solidified this one for the Fighting Clan on the boys' side of things. And the girls had strong finishes across the board.
Some seasonal PRs and maybe even just regular PRs.
It's a good way to start off the new year.
Yep, I'd agree.
Good strong start to 2024 and the rest of this season's schedule for both the boys and the girls. A good home victory for both teams. And I know Coach Mike Schneider, Coach Sarah Bennett, and all the assistant coaches as well, Meg McCarlin, my guy Rich, aka Batman, they are thrilled to start the new year off with a victory. So congratulations to both the boys and girls of Vineland. Hard-fought wins here to start off 2024 against Atlantic City. Some great swims from the Vikings as well. Kudos to them for a strong meet across the board, keeping things fun. A big thank you to everybody at home who tuned in to tonight's broadcast. Big thank you to our producer, Doug Diola, for making things happen, both audio and visual-wise. Be sure to subscribe to the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel as well so you don't miss out on any broadcasts of sporting events, district events, and everything in between throughout the school year. And we'll be back for more duels here at the pool the rest of this winter sports season, along with basketball over at the 11-12 building in the gym. So don't miss out on any of it, but thanks for tuning in tonight. Congratulations once again to the Fighting Clan, both boys and girls, on a victory here at home against Atlantic City. For Lena Luciano, I'm Kyle Bennett. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody have a safe and fun weekend, and we will see you next time.
See you.